Good morning, everyone. Morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, and welcome back to another live stream. Hello, hello, hello. Morning or good day, depending on where you're from. How's everybody doing today? Morning, good morning, good morning. Day, depending on where you're from. Everybody's week is going well. Everybody's day is going well. Gonna take a moment to say hi to the community. Welcome everybody in, and then we'll get into some information here. Definitely an interesting week, to say the least. Definitely go over the information any minute. Just want to take a moment to say good morning to everybody. How everybody's morning. Good morning, Alexandre. Morning, Zibis. Morning, Govna. Morning, Mitchell. Morning, Redme. Morning, Muhammad. Morning, Estras. Morning, Vis. Morning, June 30 Trades. Morning, Francis. Morning, Felipe. Morning, Mutin Rashi. Morning, Zyro. Morning, Emmanuel. Morning, Reese. Morning, Jesse. Morning, Zali. Morning, Kimu. Morning, Lawrence. Morning, Kathy. Good morning, Frank. Morning, Michael. Morning, Jet. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody's week going so far? Good morning, Mickey. Good morning, Pierre. Good morning, Jay. Samuel, what's up? Ninja Investor, what's up? Hello, hello, hello. See how everybody's doing. See how everybody's week is going. Then we'll get into some information here. Got another 10 minutes before the open. So throw a 1 in chat if you're green on the week. Throw a 2 in the chat if you're red on the week. Throw a 3 in the chat if you get to trade. As we see how the community is doing, I'll start to get into the information. It's been quite an interesting week, to say the least. Starting with the economic calendar, we have a shortened week that is loaded. Okay, so first things first is Friday is a bank holiday. Majority of people in the U.S. celebrate 4th of July. So I will not be participating on a bank holiday. That is one of the days that I don't participate. Then, normally, NFP is the first Friday of every month, but because of the bank holiday, NFP was moved to Thursday this month. So you definitely have to understand the difference in the economic calendar. Time is just slightly off here. Non-farm payroll is usually on a Friday, along with having a shortened week. Okay, so that leads us to having ADP this morning. Had that at 8:15. That already occurred. But what I'm pointing to here is that you have to understand that non-farm payroll is tomorrow. Non-farm payroll being tomorrow is significant in terms of today's logic and today's price. Okay, so we gotta keep in mind that we have NFP tomorrow morning. NFP is a good time for expediting evals. For anybody that hasn't looked at our one-shot, one-kill method, check out Day Trading Realtor's YouTube. Okay, he's done a phenomenal job live streaming the high-impact news events. Done a phenomenal job outlining one-shot, one-kill method. Okay, with that being said, always a good time to buy on discount as well. Majority of the props are doing 4th of July discounts. Okay, so if you use code ASH, that will get you the best discount. All right, so definitely an opportunity to expedite if you want to do that Thursday morning for the NFP release. CPI is the only other one that I would even think about doing. I currently don't have to do that because I'm in a live account right now. I'm working on my live account at My Funded Futures. Going very well. I keep providing the statistics for it on Twitter. So if you want to follow along there. All right, so I just wanted to point out the difference in time this week. Now we can get over to price action. Time is our most important element, so we always need to keep track of these red folders. All right, before we get into the analysis here, do me a favor, sub to the channel, turn the notifications on, and hit the like button. We continue to keep going over price action every single week. I'm looking at starting some new educational series, starting new playlists on the YouTube as well. Okay, so let's start to create a game plan now. Let's see what we have for New York Open. We have another 7 minutes before the Open. So give me some time. I'm going to go through the analysis. If there's any questions or information over in chat, I'll get to it after the analysis. But we should make sure that we're prepared for the opening time. Okay? So, first things first. Extremely important to understand that NQ took out new all-time highs. NQ took out new all-time highs, whereas ES has not taken out new all-time highs yet. So, first things first is the all-time highs. We need to be aware of if this is a divergence or not, seeing that NQ took out the all-time highs while ES did not. Now, it's quite the tricky market. There's nothing easy about trading at all-time highs because it's been such a trending market, right? It's been the bullish bias to all-time highs is very clear for very long. So we're able to have conviction in that move to all-time high. Now that we've completed the objective to the upside, it's hard to keep forcing more upside. Where I'm getting at with that. But this is where we need to be objective to price. Okay. Now, if we were to focus on the most recent information, this is important as well. And this is why I'm saying dealing with all-time highs is a little okay, because you zoom out and you see that NQ took out all-time highs when ES did not. There's potential to see a crack in correlation here on a higher time frame. It's something that we need to take note of. But it's also important to look at the most recent information, and that's where I stand when I do my analysis. I'm always looking at the most recent information. So if you look at the most recent information, NQ just tapped into a daily bullish FEG. And while NQ tapped into the bullish daily FEG, you can see that NQ took out the previous day low. Now keep that in mind and let's go over to the ES chart. NQ tapped into a daily bullish FEG, took out the previous day low. Whereas ES is creating higher lows. That's a bullish SMT at a location of a bullish FEG. So what I'm pointing to here is it can be a little conflicting here at all-time highs. There's nothing easy about it. NQ is clearly the stronger pair because it made it to all-time highs before ES. But we need to see if the market is turning here or if we're going to continue the trend is the overall question that we need to decide. So if we want to stick with the trend, right, then trend was very clearly bullish for quite some time. We're going to stick with the trend, right? Then we got to focus on the daily bullish FEG. We got to focus on the daily bullish FEG and the bullish SMT at the lows. So, two things to keep in mind. The all-time highs, daily bullish FEG. Those are the two pieces of information that are providing insight to today's action. It could go either way. It's not very definitive in terms of having a one-sided bias. Okay, so I'd rather be neutral here, and I've explained that throughout my communities in the week, both on My Funded Futures TV and throughout my Discords. I've been explaining how there's more of a neutral bias here at all-time highs because of the conflicting. So, also knowing that tomorrow is NFP, that leads me to say, like, I'd rather just not risk at all, in my opinion. Rather just stay on the sidelines, allow NFP to do whatever it wants, whenever it wants to. At this moment in time, we could still come in here looking to create a game plan and participate during our session, but other than that, it's not a time to be risking. For me, the clear conviction was the move to alt. Okay, this is where I had clear, decisive conviction. That's when you want to be trading, versus right now where it looks like the bullish objective was completed by reaching new all-time highs, but where it looks like the bullish trend is still continuing. So I would rather stick with the trend. I'm just not going to force a bias onto the market. I'd rather be neutral because my objective to the bullish bias has been. So I'm neutral here. Heading into the session, right? I know that was very two-sided, and it is two-sided, and that's why I'm saying I don't want to risk, because it's two-sided. In my opinion, when you should risk is when you're capable of being one. When you can have a clear bias, you have a clear game plan, what type of position you're looking for, and you can clearly identify your risk. Those are the times to be actually trading. Can't do that, then just stay on the sideline. Patient. So right now, my overall decision is to stay on the sidelines and be patient. In terms of creating a game plan today, what I would be looking for in terms of creating a game plan for New York Open is whether this bullish FEG provides support or not. Okay, so was this the low of the day? Yes or no? That's basically the game plan that I would go into the market with, seeing that the most recent information on the daily chart that NQ just tapped into a bullish FEG, and there's potential for bullish SMT at the low. So if that area holds as an area of support, then target highs. But as of right now, you have, here's the 15-minute chart. So now it's New York Open. You get down to a lower time frame with the 5 and 15-minute look like. It is potentially trying to create a breaker here. No inversions or anything yet. You have a bullish FEG. But essentially what we're looking for here is whether this area provides support or not. And then you're going down to your lower time frames to see what the structure looks like, if it supports that idea or not. All right, so that's today's information. If we get this right here, so this is a 15-minute chart, SMT at the lows, get this 15-minute bullish change in the state of delivery, then that would be something that provides insight to higher prices. See if they close a candle above this. If they do, then you can target the highs here. But as of right now, there's no time to be taking risk. Right now, it's time to be gathering more information, waiting until you have more. So siding on the side of patience, remaining flat for the day. Game plan for the day is to see if we get support from the higher time frame FE or not. So give me a thumbs up if that makes sense in chat. I know that was a long-winded analysis, but it's a tough market right now. Dealing with all-time highs is not easy. So we need to see if ES is going to make its new all-time high or not. Or is the market turning over here or not? In higher time frame. So neutral every day. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, and now Wednesday, I've been neutral. I've been bullish for like the last 2.5 months. Pretty much the first time I've changed my bias in a while. Yeah, I'm fine with moving to neutral. Want to see if it closes above change in the state of delivery. If it does, then I would look for a move. As we're waiting and watching, also feel free to throw any questions or comments in chat. We could also now go over any type of information regarding trading, whether it's about the model, whether it's about the business, whether it's about the mental or emotional intelligence, the whole nine. Feel free to throw anything in chat. I am going to watch ES and NQ. Those are the pairs that I focus on. So for the individuals asking about gold, I'm sorry. I trade ES and NQ at New York Open. This is my hunting hours right now, so I need to be focusing on collecting my data. So as we're waiting and watching, we're waiting to see if this could close a candle above the 15-minute change in the state of delivery. If it does, then I would be looking for longs to the highs here. Yes, looks like. That looks like a nice, beautiful bearish unicorn there. Or, that's clearly hindsight. I'm just pointing out entry function. Just talking about a unicorn, right? You have the breaker, you have the FVG, and this not something to hindsight review. Pointed out quick to show the entry. Right now we're waiting to see if this will close. How would you use the midnight and 8:30 open in the case of today's price action? Midnight and 8:30 open are not something I exactly focus on. So like if you go through all of my prior live streams, you'll see that there's a very rare amount of times that I midnight open and it's just not a part of my analysis. In my opinion, I truly believe in less is more. Just pick one or two concepts that you can clearly identify and move forward with that. For me, I only use 3 concepts. Right? It's swing highs, swing lows. That's just one location opinion. So swing highs or lows. So swing points, what I should say. Swing points, FVGs, and cracks and core. It was those 3 concepts to conduct all of my trading. And in my opinion, less is fall into information overload by trying to use hundreds of different concepts every single day. You're going to get lost in that. How far back do you typically look for higher time frame candles? I want to be using the most recent. Right, so most recent information right now, when I go to the daily to obtain a bias, that I'm literally using today's candle and yesterday's. Right, so ES did not sweep previous day low, where NQ did. Right, so I'm literally using the most recent 2 candles. That looks like bullish SMT. The fact that NQ took out the previous day low, ES did not. That is bullish SMT, and it happened inside of a bullish FVG. So I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. The most recent. I really focus on using. Right, so for that reason, for the reason of there being bullish SMT at the lows, for the reason that NQ tapped into the bullish FVG, that's why I'm looking for a bullish change in the state. Right now, then I went down to a lower time frame after price gave higher time frame context. After price gave higher time frame context, then I went down to look for a type of end. So we're currently waiting to see if the candle can above the what would be the bullish change in the state of delivery on the 15 chart. If it does, then we're considering longs to these equal. We use the most recent. Ash, good morning. Good morning to you too, Uturo. How are you doing today? Ash, good morning. You would wait for a 50-minute candle close before you enter the trade, correct? So first things first, I explained in the beginning of the stream that my interest is in remaining flat today. For anybody that's been working with me, they know that Wednesday to Friday of non-farm payroll week is not a no trade time for me. Do not look to risk during that time because of non-farm payroll. Okay? I still show up and document my business every single day. Doesn't matter if I'm risking or not. So come to the market, my hours, create a game plan, document the session, if that game plan worked out or not. Then after the session, I provide results. Okay, so it doesn't matter what day it is, I'm always working. So should also be building that conviction and price yourself as well. Right? That's what's happening today. Today, I'm not risking, but I still came here to create a game plan through the concepts that I view price. Now that I've created a game plan and it's session, now I'm looking to execute that game plan, right? Then I document the results if that logic was correct or not. I'm always collecting data. Don't need to risk to do that. Right, so the game plan today is to be bullish because of the SMT at the lows and NQ tapping into the daily FEG. Therefore, we went down to a lower time frame to look for a bullish entry function. If that bullish entry function gets confirmed, then I'm looking to see the results to the. Don't need to spend money to do that. But I get conviction from it. No, I know you're studying too. I'm just making sure that everybody here clearly point of view. So Uturo, I know you've been here for time. I know that you. I just want to clearly communicate to it. Either way, to now move forward, yes, we're waiting for a candle closure, right? So the current candle that's being formed needs to close. If it closes above this line right here, okay, so if the current candle closes above this line, then that would be a long. That. So that's currently what we're looking at and waiting. Finish off the answer. Very good question. Ash, hey Nikki, how are you doing today? How has the increase in trades on lower time frame? Oh, you took a couple of trades on the 1 minute. So unfortunately, the 1 minute still remains my arch nemesis. I just don't know what it is. It's the same thing, right? The model doesn't change. People doing the same thing. Doesn't matter what time frame you're in. But 1 minute chart has so much more information because more candlesticks, more opportunities. And in a business where, a win rate should look like 40 or 50%, there's so many more losses that occur on the 1 minute chart. Opportunity. So the 1 minute chart still has not been doing good. Still remains majority of my losses. Data says that I still need to get off the 1. Nothing's changed there, unfortunately. I wish that I got better on the chart, but maybe it's going to take some more. Data says to still stay off the. In a continuation unicorn, does price have to dip into the FEG or a mere presence of? No matter whether you're using a reversal or a continuation, the model remains. Want to be doing it during the opening times, want to be doing it from a higher time frame level with a cracking correlation that supports. Doesn't matter what time frame we're on, doesn't matter if it's a continuation or a reversal. For the things that provide logic to. Any reason you're using the 15-minute? No, there is. I don't have a reason. On the 5-minute, you're starting to get the breaker here. Watch this as well. What the breaker would be on the 5-minute. There was no reason to why I was on the 15-minute. I just. You have a breaker, and there is a tiny FVG right here, so we can watch this. Provide support for price. For that long idea that we've had. Very large. There. If this provides support for higher price, there wasn't really a reason being on the 15-minute, but now here. Now we're on the 5-minute, and you can see a clear breaker with an FVG. Take a look. How do you document those sessions? Every single day I'm doing pre-market, which is your bias or your game plan for the day. Then you do your during analysis, right? I do live streams, so everything is recorded. So I can hear my thoughts and my actions in real time. I have recordings of them. Live streams before. Then you do your post-market analysis, like the results to that logic. What happened during the session? Did you get an entry function? What was the result to it? What'd you think about it? How'd you act towards it? The whole nine. So pre-market is your bias and your game plan. During market is what happens during the session. Post-market is a review of the entire business. Documenting across all of my social. Doing these live streams on YouTube. Documenting on Twitter. Documenting in Discord. Just recently started the Instagram as well. So if you want short reels, short educational reels, you can go to the Instagram as well. Will you be making videos on ICT concepts blended with stocks for those that are interested? Everything that's on my YouTube can be used for stocks, crypto, commodities, currencies, futures. It doesn't matter what market you're in. Use these concepts across any market. I'm not using new concepts. I'm not going to keep creating more videos because I just explained earlier, less is more. I only look at certain concepts that I don't fall into information overload, right? Like on my channel, you can see the unicorn model playlist. There's no playlist for inversions. There's no playlist for supply and demand. There's no playlist for EMAs because I don't use it. My attention is on my trading and my concepts, and then hey Ash, 825 bullish candle was not uni. 820. 825 is not a unicorn. No, it's not. Have to have the instant swing points. So take a look at this. Must have a swing low. Must have a swing high. Must have a new low. You must have a new high. The institutional swing points are important here. Swing low. Swing high. New low. New high. Take a look at the price action. There is no swing low here. There is no swing high here. There is no ability for that to be a breaker. It does not have the institutional swing point. Okay, now zoom out. Take a look at the swing points. Again, the swing points is what matters here. Swing low, swing high, new low, new high. That's what matters. Once you can clearly define the different legs of price action, right? This is a price moved down here, then it changed directions, it moved up here, then it changed directions again, it moved it down here, and it changed directions again, and then it started moving. Once you can clearly see the different legs of price action, fluid motions of price action, then you can define your swing points, and you need the highest up close candle before the leg down that took liquidity. So you will always find the breaker block, whether it's a bullish or a bearish one, in between number 1 and number 2. Okay, your first and your second swing point right here is always where you will find breaker block, whether it's a bullish or bearish break. A bullish breaker is your highest up close candle before the leg down that took liquidity. That's why I highlighted these candles here. Vice versa for a bearish one. Very good question. Little recap of breaker block. And once you pair a breaker block with an FEG, that's when you have the unicorn. Plus FEG, right? You have the FEG right here. Does not matter how much of the FEG is overlapping with the breaker block. Simply is touching it or it's not touching it. There's no amount that the FEG needs to be overlapping the breaker. Either touches it or it doesn't. Plain and simple. One touched the breaker block plus an FEG. That's why we're calling it a unicorn. That's why we pointed out the long. Then having a entry function is not enough. Okay? Have to have this too, right? Very clear draw on liquidity. Pointed to the highs. Highs are one of the best forms of draw on liquidity. On top of the higher time frame logic. Right, the higher time frame logic was the daily bullish FEG. Out on the daily chart. Higher time frame logic was the daily bullish FEG. Daily bullish SMT. So it's more of a matter of having logic provided to your decision making than it is just going in during your hunting hours to find a unicorn. That documented. As we're waiting and watching, feel free to throw any type of questions or comments in chat. Also going over questions and comments as we're waiting and watching. Again, I have the MyFunded live stream after this as well. So the live stream will probably go to about 10:15. Take a quick little 15-minute break so I can order and a snack. 10:30 segment on MyFunded. Also, conversation over there as well. Feel free to follow me over there. Continue this same exact live stream. All right. Job is basically done. The bugger off. Zicky, did you get green? Is that what that means? Get green? And was it from the unicorn? Was it from the longs? Hopefully you were green, sir. Your day is going. You know it. Let's go, Zicky. You love. Hi, Ash. Can the change in state of delivery be the opening price of the 8:30 candle? You on the 15-minute chart or you on the? Either way, I wouldn't. Either one. So on the 5-minute chart, it would be 8:40. It took out the swing low here, and the trend changed. So on the 5-minute chart, it would be 8:40. 15-minute chart for the change in the state. So neither the 5 or the 15-minute. Like your style of trading. Thanks for your time. So it really just boils down to this. Like right before 9:30 pre-market, that's when I'm creating a game plan. I'm on the daily chart looking at swing highs, swing lows, and FEGs. That's what helps me create that game plan. I understand my game plan. Then I go into my hunting hours, which is 9:30 to 12, looking for a position aligned with that game. Really all it comes down to. Thing that market does that tips its hand to tell me when to actually execute that game plan is SMT. So really all it is higher time frame logic, tracking correlation, entry function. All boils. That's it in a nutshell. If we were to write that on a business card, that would be the 3. Which time frames do we use for SMTs? SMT is going to be created on any time frame. No matter what chart you're looking at, you can find these concepts on any chart. I personally use time frame alignment so that I know which charts to be analyzed. Again, this goes back to the conversation of information overload, why I always say less is more. I choose 3 time frames to look at, and I don't compare them to the other time frames because I don't want to fall into information. So I use the daily for my bias, I use the hourly for the market structure, and I use the 5-minute for entry. Just pick 3 time frames. The higher time frame, medium time frame. Now, when you're looking for SMTs, when you're looking for logic for your decision making, you want higher time frame logic. Higher time frames are going to hold more influence. Right? So that's why that daily SMT between ES and NQ, that's why I looked for SMT on the daily chart, the higher time frame. NQ tapped into a daily bullish FEG, and at that location there was daily bullish SMT. That's why I went down to a lower time frame looking for a bullish. So higher time frame logic, lower time frame end. Do me a favor, if you're getting any value from the stream this morning, like the video, sub to the channel. That way you could be showing up to the live streams. We could every single thing you do giveaways on the show. Well, I actually just recently got a message giveaway winner from a payout certificate. It was incredible to see somebody actually pay out from a giveaway. Imagine the ROI on that free account, getting a $1,200. Absolutely amazing value that we chances that we're giving for this. On the 5-minute, this unicorn setup was done in plenty of candles, while the 15-minute, it was done in 7. You take these amounts to determine the quality of the setup. Yes. Lower amount of candles it takes to create, more momentum it looks like. Yes. Less candles it takes to create the entry. More decisive it looks. I would rather there be less candles. Yes, I consider the candles. Ash, if you have an hourly FEG before your TP, is it better to close the position FEG at the FEG or wait for TP? That decision needs to be made before trade is even taken. Before you even enter a position, you already understand your execution style. And what I mean by that is you know how to manage your risk. Are you the individual that raises their stop loss to break even or not? Because the answer to that question is going to determine your results, right? So me personally, I don't move my stop loss. So you asking about closing at the FEG, no, that's not what I do. I do is I go TP or stop loss. So right now, this is the idea. Looking for price to go to the high. If it goes to the high, the idea is correct. If it goes to the stop loss, I am incorrect. So I've made that decision for myself before any buttons were. What I'm saying. But you as an independent thinker, you can choose whatever works best for yourself. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm telling you how I conduct my business. Like protecting your position. You want to raise your stop loss above break even, or in your scenario, take profit because of the FEG that you're looking at. Make that decision. If you want to do that, be my guest. What's it look like on the 15-minute chart? I was using the change in state delivery on the 15-minute chart. You might as well just do the same thing. This is too much risk here. 102 points. Use the swing point. Might as well just use. Taking a look at the 15-minute chart if you're doing change in the state of delivery on the 15-minute chart. $100-point stop loss doesn't make sense. Sometimes you put stop loss at the bottom. Sometimes you just put it at the breaker. Yeah, that's what I was just explaining there. 100-point stop loss in terms of risk management doesn't make any sense. Why it's not. If it goes back, can we enter? You make that decision for yourself. Not a signal service. Not going to tell you whether to enter. Do you trade NFP? No, I don't trade NFP. NFP is an expediting opportunity for people that want to try to expedite their evals. Be my guest, but I'm not in the position I need to do that. I'm not going to trade my live account, and that's why I don't need to expedite evals, because I'm currently working on a live account. I don't participate on NFP, CPI, FOMC, bank holidays. Just check the pinned messages that shows the days that I don't participate. So no result yet. The information remains the same. Got another 15 minutes here before the end of my live stream. That's when I'll head over to the My Funded TV live stream. The actual discount for My Funded Futures is for any account. Yeah, you can use it on any account. There's currently a 50% off on My Funded Futures. Code ASH, if you do that, it'll get you 50% off. You can only use the 50% off one time. So don't expect to be grabbing 10 accounts at 50% off. It's only a one. 10 get 50. If you haven't noticed already, go figure, they always do the discounts right before non-farm payroll and CPI. For the people that have been around long enough, they know, when the discounts come around. In my opinion, you always need to be buying on discount. Okay, there's no reason to ever purchase anything full price, because there are always. It goes back to entry. Can we enter? Dummy, if you just keep spamming the same question, then I'm gonna have to start deleting. Ready to respond times. Not calling. A screen name is actually done. What is the risk management in simple words? 50% win rate at a 1 to 2 risk reward. Simple as. Ooh, $500, $4,000. Maybe that'll make it even. Risk $500 to make 1,000. 1 to 2 risk reward. We're nicely green ever since the long idea. We're waiting to see if it targets the equal highs up here. As of right now, it's just a moment to be patient. Can you mark up the breaker on the 15-minute? No, I can't, because there's no swing. Excuse me. Hold on. I spoke too quickly. Yeah, there is a swing point. So the 8 a.m. candle. The breaker. 8 a.m. I almost said no, but then you can see the swing point here. The 15 candle. So 8 a.m. candle on the 15-minute chart for NQ, that bullish break. Will you take the entry on the body open or the wick of the breaker? If it confirmed. So when I enter from the beginning of the breaker. When I'm outlining the breaker, I'm outlining the entire candle. look at the gray shaded area. Notice how I've outlined the entire candle. So what I'm saying is, whether it's a bullish or a bearish breaker, you can see that the entry location, shown by the position indicator tool, is at the beginning of the breaker. So I always enter from the beginning of the breaker, where the entry. So you can take a trade, you can take a position that started before New York Open. You can decide to do whatever you'd like. If you want to trade before the open, be my guest. What I think you should do is pick a specific time that you know when you should be trading and when you shouldn't be trading. The only thing that I have to say is that you should have undivided attention to your risk management. That is when you should be trading, whether that's 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., whether that's 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I don't care when you trade. I care that you're capable of managing risk and having set guidelines for when not to trade. So if you want to trade 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., be my guest. Why is my bias bullish? Just rewind to the beginning of this live stream. Did the top-down analysis stating the game plan heading into open. I only have 10 more minutes here, so we're already looking at a long position. I need to collect the data here and make sure this is being managed properly. Not going to do another top-down analysis. Go back to the beginning of the video. When selecting swing points from higher time frame, do you prefer the most recent swings? Yes, I emphasize the most recent. Put an emphasis on the. Beautiful move so far on the longs. We're at 1.2 R already. Amazing move to start the day. See if they want to continue to the highs. Ash, I get satisfied when I win a trade based off executions instead of following my rules. How do I fix this? You shouldn't have any type of feeling. So you need to find a way to become more objective. So learn more about your emotional control, your mental control. Maybe do that outside of trading. You shouldn't be feeling anything, win or loss. Follow the plan or not follow the plan. You need to remain objective so that you can clearly analyze. Anytime you become emotionally induced for whatever situation, then you're going to get influenced by those emotions. You have to find a way to become objective. Why did I choose the stop hunt before New York Open? I don't get to choose anything. Price can and will do whatever it wants whenever it wants. I'm reading price like a book. Read it from left to right and efficiently react to it. Cannot force price to do it. Cannot tell the future, and I cannot change the. What I can do is be present and analyze the current information. This is what the current information provided, so I outlined. At what point do you put... Sorry. Hi, Ash. Under what circumstances do you put your stop loss below the breaker instead of below the swing? I always put it at the swing low. Okay. Just use one defined location and move forward with it. Use the swing low or the swing high of the set. Make the decision beforehand and stick to it. Can you explain how to adjust the item size? I'm not sure what that means. What do you mean by item size? I don't know what. Ash, please, any specific reason why you placed the stop loss here? No. The reason was 100 points, putting it at the swing point is way too much. So there was no reason to. Looks like it will not retrace. We have no clue what it's going to do. Once again, you cannot tell the future. The only thing you can do is focus on the present and objectively analyze them. We don't know if it's going to run to the highs. Risk is accepted before the risk is taken. Once any buttons are pressed, that's when you sit back and allow the probabilities to play out. Cannot tell what's going to happen. Just efficiently manage your position. Allow the probabilities to play out. Your due diligence beforehand. Accept the risk beforehand. Then execute with strictly defined risk. Can you talk about your daily bias? Yeah, just rewind this video. Go back to the beginning of the video where there's a top-down analysis explaining all of the logic that went into this trade, including the bias, including the higher time frame points of interest. The whole 9, you get a top-down analysis. I only have a couple more minutes here. I have to close up this stream at 10:15. I head over to the My Funded Futures live stream after this, 10:30 to 11:30 segment over there. I don't have the time to go back to do the entire top-down analysis again. Just go back to the beginning of this video and watch. I only got 5 more minutes here. There's a current position that we've been watching, so we need to efficiently. Beautiful move so far. Is nicely green. Yeah, where we're at now. A 1.5 R so far. Long. Hello, Ash. So happy to see you for the first time. You might have to check out some of the other live streams. The face reveal happened a few months ago. Nice to see you as well, though. How are you? Nice move on the long so far. Very clear draw on liquidity. Very clear entry function. Beautiful move so far. If it wants to finish off the 2R, this is actually more R 2.4. Beautiful. Winners got to be bigger than losers. So if this ends up being 2.4, that's exactly what we want to see. If the logic that we use through the concepts that we use ends up playing out. See if it's valuable logic. Had so many discussions about cracks in correlation, about bias, about equal highs or equal lows. Everything's here for this position. That's why we pointed. Who would I like to see make a face reveal in the trading space? That's somebody's personal choice. So I don't really. Not something I thought about. So I don't. At this point, is it still valid? No, I wouldn't. Where it's at now, right? We're closing in on 2R. So when I trade, I'm looking to implement a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Seeing that price has now completed that objective, right? 1.8. That's close enough to 2R. We're literally approaching 2R right now. So at this moment in time, seeing that the objective has been completed, I would no longer entertain taking a position. Play already played out. If you didn't grab the long when we first pointed it out, I would no longer use the information. For the people that did grab the long, you're looking at 72 points on NQ. Want to call it a day there? Is 72 points enough? So let's actually go ahead and start taking profits on these. Right? Whether you want to hold it to the highs or not, job has been done. The objective to this position has been completed. Closing in on 2R. Got 1.9 there. Okay. So who was able to capture the longs this morning? Whoever did capture the longs, start taking profits. 72 points on NQ is astronomical. That is phenomenal. So throw a W in chat if you're able to capture the longs this morning. See if anybody was able to use the information to their abilities. Top-down analysis was just on point. I highly recommend everybody goes back to the beginning of this video and watches this. This was a good one. Very clear logic. Decisively pointed to the concepts that we were able to identify. This was a good one. But I do have to move over to the My Funded Futures live stream now. It's going to end up being the same conversation over there, just to give you guys a heads up. I'm going to be reviewing this information that we watched here this morning. Before I let you guys go, make sure you use code ASH. There's some phenomenal discounts right now across the props. They're doing a 4th of July sale. So you can see the props that I'm partnered with down below in the overlay. Tradeify, Funded Next, My Funded Futures. Use code ASH. That'll get you the best discounts. There's 50% off at My Funded Futures. Incredible. So, if you found any value from the stream, sub to the channel, like the video. We're going to continue to keep providing our documentation every single week. If that's something that's providing value to you, continue to keep showing up, because I'm always going to keep working, always going to keep learning. I'll be a student of this market for the rest of time. I would like to be around other professionals, other like-minded people that are working towards their goals every single week. So let's continue to keep working and learning every single chance we can get. Thank you, everybody, for participating today. It was great to see you all, and I'll see you all on the My Funded Future. Hope everybody has a great week.